try to lure it with some darts. Oh, got it.
What was all that about? Anyways, I know some of you guys are like, how did you know it was hiding over there in the bushes? Well, check out this security cam footage. Check this out. Oh man, look at that. You can see it. I caught it creeping across the yard a couple of times. So look at that. You see? I don't know, guys. I don't know, right? Anyways, to tie that all together, we are going to review Impact498's lightning bug, right? Okay, so now you guys are probably like, okay, I get it. Anyways, we purchased this 3D printing blaster off of Etsy. To your door, it should be right around about $75-ish, somewhere right there. And it comes almost ready to go minus a battery. And we'll talk about battery options here in a moment. Now, I know Impact498 has other blasters as well, as you guys can check them out here. A lot of very cool things, from select fire blasters to a lot of just really cool stuff. I checked out this thing, and I'm impressed with some of the work that he's done and some of the research and development that he's doing to create these things, because I know it is not easy at all. But man, this thing sure packs a punch for $75 to your door, maybe about $100 if you include a battery or if you already have one with an XT60 connector. Anyways, let's just hop right in. Let's take a look at this thing up close. It's a tiny blaster, man. It's you know, some could consider this a primary. I would consider this to be more a secondary, but man, this thing shoots pretty hard for only being a 2S. Now again, you can see it has kind of the nice lightning bug logos on the side. You can pick and choose all your different colors between orange and blue and blacks and grays. And you can also, if I remember right, you can, for I think it's like an extra $10 or 12 or 15 bucks, you can get something on the side of it to say like XFoxGames, or you know, whatever your logo is on the side. I should have done that. I didn't really think about it, but still up close. And to kind of give you guys an idea of really how big or small this blaster is, here it is up against one of our XFKOs. I mean, it's not very large at all in comparison to some of the other blasters that have been coming out in the market currently. So it's pretty tiny. Now, one of the things that I always appreciate about these 3D printed blasters is the amount of work that goes into something like this. I mean, designing everything about it is crazy. Doing the iterations, making sure everything works. It is awesome. So I do give Impact498 props for that. So this is a flywheel electronic semi-auto blaster. So if we open this thing up, there's a little kind of screw pin here. You just kind of unscrew it, you undo the side, and if you look inside, we have a 2S in here. Now, this runs Kraken motors, so you know it's going to shoot hard. But this, if you open it up right there, you can see, I mean, it fits my 2S battery perfectly fine. You can run this on 3S if you want to hit 170 plus on the FPS marker, maybe 160. That was just a little bit too fast for us, and we noticed they tended to tear up our darts a little bit. So for us, we ended up opting for our, well, we tried a 3S, but we opted for our 2S battery. And yeah, you know, 2S is only 7.4 volts, which is kind of crazy. You would expect 9.6 volts, but 7.4 volts, this thing is shooting 145 FPS, which we'll show you here in a little bit. That is crazy for 2S. And we shot pretty quick, and so it kind of averaged right around in there. Now, this does come along with a magazine as well, and this, of course, is a boom, it's a 7-round magazine, super tiny. Take a look at that. But yes, this does work with Katana mags as well. I have a couple of these around, and I think it looks great in there. Look at that. It doesn't really impede anything, comes right down, and nothing is in the way. I like that look. But still, if you want to go a small little tiny one, boom, that goes right in there, which is awesome. And you can purchase more of these magazines from Impact498 as well on Etsy. But I opted again for those right there. Let's just take a look at me shooting this thing. Here we go. So in the backyard here, I got a couple Katana mags. I got the stock mags. I am shooting the Adventure Force Pro darts. I have a couple of the Dart Zone Pro stuff in there, and then just various other short darts, but probably about 95% of the Adventure Pro stuff. But man, look at this. This thing is coming out and shooting hard on 2S, 145 FPS. Most blasters, I mean, don't even get up there, or they get there with 3S. So that's the kind of crazy part about this, is how hard this particular thing shoots on just 2S. And it feels really good shooting. I did have a little bit of an issue with the trigger and the return spring, which we'll talk about here at the end. But still, look at this thing, man. Just listen, it is hitting hard, and it's fairly accurate. Really the only time I had issues were with some of the bamboo short darts, which tend to run a little bit smaller and have kind of that weird outer rings on them. I would say probably to shoot the Dart Zone Pro stuff out of this, you'll have no issue. But listen to that. Whew. And a couple of times here, yeah, I'm just kind of plinking, right? Just single shot, maybe doing a couple 2-round bursts. Kind of at the end here, I just went kind of ham and just was trying to shoot this thing as fast as I could semi-auto. And for the most part, as fast as you can pull the trigger. I would love to see this have another kind of, automatic pusher in here. And in my head, I'm like thinking, oh, you could definitely do an automatic pusher in here to make this thing full auto. But I do like the single rate of fire on this. It's more pleasurable than the Lepus, which you try to single fire, but you can't, right? You end up shooting 2, 3, 4. But look at that. I can't trust it. I love this. I love shooting this particular blaster because of the semi-auto and because of the 145 FPS that we get out of this. So there you go, guys, a quick shooting vid. Now, the only issue that we had with this was the return spring for the trigger. The return spring sits inside this kind of that black housing back here for your attachments. Now, the thing about this is you'll see that the back part of the spring is just a circle. It looks like it was glued in there. And, I mean, I shot probably 400, 500, 600, 700 rounds through this, and I noticed that spring popped off. You can re-glue it, but I think you're going to have issues again. So we ended up drilling 2 holes in the back of the kind of the attachment point here and just put the end of the spring through there, and it has not fallen off since. And we've shot even more rounds through it. So on the back here, you do have the attachment, so you can attach all of your favorite stocks and whatever else you got here. I think it's a little bit too tiny for this, but maybe a smaller Nerfer might like that. I don't know. I mean, I think that would be just a crazy blaster. I would love to see some type of kind of a front attachment, something like that. Now, here's the thing, guys. Would I buy this? Again, 100% for 75 bucks because I already have the batteries to go along with it. I already have the charger. I already have everything. And having 2 of these, I mean, that would be crazy, both shooting at 145 FPS. What is the bad about it? The bad is just that spring that I had issues with. And the bad, even at 2S, guys, it's shooting 145. Most of my games that I play, they don't want you to go over 120 to 125. 150 is just too much. So on 2S, you can't slow it down. I do not have a single S battery of 3.7 volts. I'd be curious if this thing can even run on it. But that's my only complaint, is it shoots a little too hard that I can't step it down. Unlike some of the other blasters where you start with 3S and you are shooting around 160, 150. If you jump down to 2S, you're shooting around the 120 mark. So that's the only complaint I had about this. But other than that, this thing is great. Look at this. This thing, woo, shoots absolutely great. But that's all I had. I say go check it out, Impact498's Etsy store. I know he has a ton of other stuff here that you guys can check out. But other than that, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thanks again, Fox fans.